All right, yeah, it's actually wild. Nearly every industry is increasingly dominated by a handful and sometimes only a couple of big corporations, and they are often found to be colluding to raise prices. I'll get into a bunch of shocking examples because it's a major influence on prices and wages. We're left wondering, how can companies keep raising prices when people are so stretched? And the answer is because of their market control. People don't have many alternatives. And those alternatives are just priced off of the dominant players. And it's not always easy to identify market share, but let's talk about it. Let's look at food, right? It starts with the raw materials. One company, Monsanto, controls nearly the entire corn and soybean seed market, setting baseline costs for all human and livestock food. How about our meat? Four companies control over 80% of beef, 2/3 of pork, and the majority of chicken, and they regularly collude. How about the grocery store selling it? Walmart accounts for nearly a quarter of all U.S. food sales. Kroger and Albertson, number 2 and 4, are trying to merge, and the three together would be nearly a third of all food sales in the U.S. And in more than 160 U.S. cities, control more than 70% of the market in sales. And branded food, you've seen this popular photo probably, only a handful of companies control most of the packaged food. And you have Mars now trying to buy Kellogg's spinoff Kellanova in the biggest merger ever to consolidate even further. How about baby formula? Remember the shortage 2 years ago? That was caused by one factory shutting down because Abbott controlled 40% of all baby formula production. How about healthcare products? P&G, Kimberly-Clark together control 80% of the diaper market. P&G is one that I've written about and talked about a lot because they control and dominate their market share in nearly every place that they participate, usually by 2 to 3 times their largest competitor, controlling basic staples and raising prices. And they own enough brands that people looking for cheaper options have to choose within their own brands. It's their main business strategy. Their earnings call earlier this year, the CEO spoke with pride that their only real competition are store brands, those that are meant to undercut them marginally in price and in quality. And the price increases have been a major driver of revenue for 55 straight quarters. It's 14 years. So overall, America's businesses continue to shift power to fewer and fewer companies across every industry. Today, the top 1% of companies account for 80% of all revenue earned in the United States, compared with just 60% back in 1969. And the number of sectors where only 4 of the largest firms control more than 2/3 of the market share has increased by 50% in just the last 20 years. Well, how about some good news? Well, regulators have been cracking down on this, mostly in tech, but also that Kroger and Albertson merger is a battle. They've been cracking down on Live Nation and Ticketmaster, one company that controls 60% of major concert promotions and over 80% of ticketing at large venues. And they blocked the merger of Spirit and JetBlue, because airlines over the past 5 decades have gone from 25 major carriers down to just 4 or 5. And how about the people who make those planes? One US company and one European company. And you've likely heard that the US one isn't doing very well. And that's another great case for more competition. It's not just prices, it's quality too. Corporate consolidation needs greater scrutiny.